Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Sinem. I'm a digital entrepreneur, online writer, and a writing coach. In the past 2 years, I've reached millions of readers with my content on Medium, and I've supported thousands of aspiring writers to start and scale their writing career. This week, I want to give you some of the insights that I wish I had when I first started writing on Medium. And to be honest, there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know for a long time. And I am so sure that knowing all these things and having a bit of an insight on what's going on kind of behind the scenes, and behind the scenes, meaning going on for writers who've been way ahead of me, would have helped me significantly. Maybe not necessarily to make more money quickly, but to get a realistic expectation of what's possible and where I'm personally standing at this moment. And I'm really hoping that this video will help you personally to get a bit of awareness on where you are right now, where you want to go, and what's possible for you. Because for me, that's been the main driver. Like when I started writing, I've been looking up to people who've been way earlier on the platform, who've been way ahead of me because they joined Medium like 5 years before I did. And that's been one of my main motivations. It's always nice to see someone who has done something and it worked for them, and you know that you can replicate their success. And being a first mover is always riskier. It can also be more profitable and it can be highly rewarding, but if somebody has done it before you, you know that you can do it as well. Now let's get to the topic of this video, which is that I have taken an involuntary writing break. It was not involuntary, but it was not necessarily planned. So I've been on a writing and work break this summer essentially. So in June and July, I've been traveling a lot, enjoying life. I moved to my new flat, and I just didn't work that much because I could afford to take that break, honestly. There was no major reason, so I didn't feel burnt out, or there was no problem, or I still felt motivated, but it was like, okay, I can take this break. I worked my ass off last year during the lockdowns, so I'm doing it. I'm traveling, discovering Europe, moving into a new flat, spending lots of times on Pinterest and shopping furniture and stuff like that. So what ended up happening is that I published 2 posts on Medium in July. So for the entire month of July, I published 2 posts. It was actually just one, so I published one of them at the very beginning of the month. And then I luckily read that you need to publish 2 posts to be able to receive the bonus payment, which was up to $500. So I thought it would be quite stupid not to grab the bonus payment. So I wrote one more post at the end of the month, just to get to those 2 posts and get my extra $500. And all in all, this ended up being a little experiment for me on how much I can earn, or how much I do earn on Medium with very little work, because ever since I started to take Medium seriously, which was in January 2020, I always published more than 2 posts per month. So it was really interesting to see what's possible if you publish that little. And in this video, I really want to share kind of the results and how they happened for me and why they happened for me and what you can expect from my numbers, from seeing my numbers. And I also want to share a bit of the messy behind the scenes, but also of what you can expect if you are brand new and don't really know how much money is possible to make on Medium, and whether it's worth it for you to spend your time on this platform or not. Now, let's get to the actual numbers. So I already said I published 2 posts on Medium. Both postings were quite a fit for my niche, so they have not been extraordinary. It's been within my niche. I knew it's both articles that resonate with my audience, so it was not a big experiment in terms of what I've written. One of them was a listicle, the other was a non-listicle, so to say. And as a reference, because this is really important at this point, at this time, I have published more than 480 pieces on Medium. So at the time of recording this video, I have published more than 480 posts, with my highest publishing months being almost one post per day, which isn't necessary, and I personally don't do it that often, so I didn't have a lot of months where I published that much. But at the beginning, when I decided to take it seriously, it was necessary because I was a writing beginner. I had no idea how to write. I had no idea how Medium worked. So I had to write a lot to figure it out. And I did that, I think, for 2 or 3 months, that I published almost every day. And then my output significantly decreased because I started to build an entire business around my writing instead of being in a content mill and constantly producing articles, because that's what I absolutely wanted to avoid. I don't want to be the slave of a content platform. I don't want to be writing and producing content all day long and have a fear of being rejected or being, out of the box, or my income significantly dropping because of an algorithm change, etc. I didn't want to be in a position to even have those fears. Plus, I really love being an online entrepreneur, building funnels, selling my own products, etc. So that's why I decided that writing and publishing every day was not the right path for me. But still, as I said, at this point, I have published more than 480 articles, which is a lot. So I got a lot of data, a lot of information on what's working and what isn't working, because I have written and practiced so much. And all of this information in total helped me to get to this point, what I will share in a minute, to make this income of just 2 posts per month. And as I said, the reason I published these two posts was because Medium was paying the bonus payments of up to $500. I knew that I would get the $500, but there was a barrier of having to publish at least 2 pieces, so that's what I did. And what was really interesting for me was to see how much money I could make by just publishing these 2 pieces. And as I said, this was kind of an experiment. It was not something I intended to do, but it happened. And now that it happened, I'm really excited to share the numbers with you. Because what happened is that I made a total of $3,000 in this month, in July, just by publishing 2 pieces, which I find pretty fascinating, because this is an average of $1,500 per piece if you want to calculate it that way. This is of course not really legit, because as I said, I have more than 400 other posts that also make money and earn money, even if I've published them 2 years ago. So it's obviously not the average of the 2 posts that I published, but you get the point. So if you break it down into the work hours, which for me is the most important factor, it makes sense. And what I also want to note here is that this was my lowest month in earnings since I decided to take Medium seriously, which was in January 2020. So it was my lowest month in earnings, but it was also my lowest output month. So I'd say that's quite fair, actually. So if I only publish 2 posts compared to 10 or 15 in an average month, I think it's quite fair that my earnings drop. And as I said, what I really look at when it comes to financial success or work success is how many hours did I work? Because to me, at this point, time is much more valuable than money or other resources. And when I look at how much money somebody made, then I want to know how much this person has been working, how many hours, and how she's feeling. And I always want to know how much this person is working and living the rest of her life, because I wouldn't be happy if I would make like tons of money, but spending most of my time working, feeling stressed, feeling in a hustle mode, and just being miserable even though I'm making a ton of money. And this might sound ridiculous, but it's the reality for so many people. And luckily I have been tracking my work hours ever since I decided to become an entrepreneur. So I always wanted to know how much time I'm spending on specific projects in my business. So I know exactly how much time I've spent writing on Medium in July when I earned these $3,000. And this might surprise you, but I am a quick writer because I have got the practice in. I'm really quick at researching because most of my articles are based on what I already know anyway, because I'm a coach. I've been working with hundreds and thousands of people for the past years. I have hosted a ton of workshops, ton of online courses, and I just, I write stuff because I intuitively know it from the connections with my students and with my seminar attendees. So most of my writing is based on what I already know or what I have researched in my learning time. So I spend a lot of time every single day reading and learning. For me, this is not necessarily work time because it's something I really enjoy. That's why I only track the time that I really spent working and writing an article. And as I said, I'm a quick writer, and the exact amount of time that I've tracked for these two pieces in July is 4.5 hours. So those two pieces took me 4.5 hours to write, which basically leads to an hourly income of more than $600 per hour, which I'd say is pretty fair for doing something that you love and writing articles about topics that you're genuinely interested in, which definitely is the case for me because I choose which topics I want to write about, and this is just the best thing that could happen to a content creator or to someone who wants to share their ideas or knowledge on the internet, in my personal opinion. Now let's get to the really exciting or interesting and underrated part of this video. These are my numbers and this is my individual journey. And as I said at the beginning, this is not necessarily something that happened overnight. It definitely didn't. I have spent hundreds of hours writing, analyzing good writing, figuring out what works, figuring out what readers want, what good writers are writing, what they're avoiding. And I'll be honest with you, 150 out of the 480 articles that I've written were incredibly poor and barely made money. I think I made less than $1,000 from my first 150 posts on Medium in total, but I didn't give up. I kept going, I kept learning, I kept experimenting, and here we are now. And this is really something to keep in mind because whenever you see numbers like the ones I just showed you, make sure to look at them at the right context. Don't just pick the numbers and say, hey, yeah, I can make, $3 grand on Medium by publishing 2 posts per month. That's great. Everybody should be doing that. That's of course not the case. And if you are a new writer and if you join the platform today, you won't join Medium, write 2 posts and make $3,000 each month. That's not going to happen. And if I'm disappointing you, I'm not even sorry about that, but that's just not the way it works. Um, and the only reason that I was able to make $3 grand on Medium with 2 posts and 4.5 hours is that I have done lots of work before. I have invested in the platform, in my audience, in my skills before. I know how to write posts that perform well. I have built an audience that likes to read my stuff. I have hundreds of posts behind the paywall which all make money, even if I published them a year ago. And you should keep all these things in mind when you see those earnings numbers. And I don't want you to put these numbers on a pedestal or aim to make 3K in your first month and be frustrated if it doesn't work. I just want you to know that it is possible because you obviously see what's happening for me or for a ton of other big writers. But I want you to be realistic and reflect on what you want, what you can have, and how to get there. And ask yourself if you are willing to go on that journey and do all the frustrating things that I did or that a lot of other people did that most people aren't willing to do. Because when I started my writing journey, I've been working a full-time job, I've been finishing my studies, and I've been writing at 6 a.m. in the morning or at 10 p.m. at night when I was done with my job and done with my studies. I know a lot of people say that building a writing business is hard because they have a full-time job, they have kids, etc. But the truth is that you have chosen these circumstances, or even if you didn't choose them, they are here. You might not be able to change them. The only thing you can change is your mentality and whether you do the damn work or not, because nobody can help you if you are not willing to make the time for it. When I started writing on Medium, I knew exactly why I did it, even though I had no idea if it would work. I had no idea how it could work for me, because at that time I had a side hustle. I had a little side business which was hosting workshops on personal development in German. So writing in English was totally random and it didn't really complement my German business. But I knew that Medium could give me freedom, the freedom to choose where to work from, the freedom to choose what to write about. And I really, really wanted to do my own thing. 1.5 years ago, Medium was my main income, and today it's just a small part of it because I have turned my writing into an entire multiple six-figure online business that helps me to generate an income, even if I'm not hustling and working my ass off. And this didn't, happen overnight. As I said, I have spent a lot of time working days and nights, and it wasn't always easy, and it requires you to take risks, to make smart decisions, to work more than the average person, but it is so worth it. And I don't say that making money online or making money on Medium is super easy, but the truth is that it can be very easy if you know what you're doing and if you learn from people who are ahead of you and who can teach you how they did it, who can teach you which mistakes they made so that you don't make them. And now the main reason I'm telling you all of this is because I wish I had someone who told me all of that when I started my online writing business. In fact, I tried to be the person I needed years ago with every piece of content I create, and I hope that my journey and the transparency that I'm hoping to provide here will help you to make it through the difficulties at the beginning or wherever you are in your journey right now. Because just a few weeks ago, I asked my community and my email subscribers which questions about writing and succeeding on Medium they would want me to answer in some of my upcoming videos. And one of the most frequent questions was, how do I stay consistent and motivated when I'm not succeeding yet, when I'm not seeing the financial rewards yet, when I'm not getting tons of comments and readers are not interacting with my content? And let me tell you one thing, motivation is an illusion. You either want something and do whatever it takes, or you don't want it strongly enough. If succeeding was easy, everyone would do it, and it would be quite worthless on Medium and anywhere else. I went through 150 miserable articles that didn't pay off at all before I started to make money on Medium. And almost all popular Medium writers you might know at this point started years ago, years before the Medium Partner Program was even introduced. They wrote on Medium without even expecting to get paid because there was no program there that would pay them. And there really is no secret to staying consistent other than asking yourself what you want, how much you want it, and how you can make it work. I know it's not sexy, it doesn't sound sexy, and people sometimes expect easy and sexy answers on how to stay consistent. But the truth is that consistency isn't sexy. It's hard, it sucks sometimes, it's a long journey. But if you know what you want, and you want it bad enough, it's 100% worth it to go through these times. So get clear on your vision. What do you really want and why do you want it? Do you want to help your family? Do you want to have an impact? Do you want to buy that expensive bag or the fast luxury car? I don't really care why you want to make money on Medium or anywhere else. And this is really just your business. Nobody else is interested in your vision, or nobody can interfere with that vision. I don't care about it, but you need to be dead sure about why you're doing it, because otherwise you won't have a reason to get up in the morning earlier than you need to and to do the writing. And that's what you will need to do, no matter if you're doing it for the money, for the audience, or for the impact that you're striving for. And when I started, I had a crystal clear vision of why I was writing online and why I was hustling, even though I knew I had to go to the office and study for my final exams. I knew that I personally wasn't meant to get a 9 to 5 job, a 9 to 5 office job, and spend my entire life or the most precious time of my life in a cubicle. I personally didn't accept the idea of having a boss who could tell me when I'm allowed to go on vacation or if I'm allowed to leave work early to support some of my family members or my boyfriend on a tough day. And I knew that it was possible to create a different reality because I was seeing lots of other people to do it. And I just asked myself, okay, if so many other people are building online businesses, making money online, why shouldn't I be able to do it? And there was no reason for it. And you have the same opportunities. If you are watching this video at this very moment, it means that you are somehow connected to the internet and to the World Wide Web, which means that you are able to open a new tab and write an article on Medium and turn your dreams into reality. You can write a bunch of posts, learn how the platform works, and turn your ideas and expertise into a full-time income. This is possible for you just like it was possible for me. And it will take time, it will take effort, but once you've made it and achieved your goals, you'll never look back. You won't regret a second that you will spend on working on your dreams. Promised.